My name is Ashley and I am going to be leading you through another Art Explorium tutorial video. Today we're going to be covering collage and decoupage. Decoupage is a fancy word for using a little bit of glue mixed with a little bit of water to create a special kind of collage. For today's project, you will need a few materials. The first thing you're going to need is magazines. You're going to want to make sure that these magazines are okay for you to use for an art project, so make sure you ask a parent or an adult first. You're also going to need a recycled piece of cardstock, maybe from a cereal box or a cookie box, to glue your collage onto. Or you can also use another kind of box, like a shoe box or some other kind of small box to do this project on. Again, make sure you ask an adult what you can and cannot use first. You're also going to need a pair of scissors. You might need a brush for decoupage if you choose to do it that way. And you're going to need some glue and a small container to mix your glue and water if you do the decoupage technique. The first step is going to be to go through your magazines and find pictures that appeal to you. There's a couple different options that you can do. The first option is to go through your magazines and find colors that you like, and we'll use those to create a new kind of picture. The second option is to go through the magazines and find images that you really like. So things that you find interesting or beautiful. I'm going to go through and find my pictures and cut them out now, and then I'll join you when we start the process of collage. So I've cut up my pieces, and this is the first option where you use the colors from pictures to create new pictures. So I cut out random colors of green, blue, orange, and I'm going to create a scene with a sky and some grass and a house. So the first thing I'm going to do is put down some glue. You don't want to use too much glue, but what helps to do this is to kind of put down a nice little layer. And you're going to notice I'm not going to go all the way to the edges. I'm just making a nice little line. You don't want to have big blobs. A little goes a long way. And then I will just start putting on my colors. You can also tear the colors if you don't want to use scissors. I did some tearing and some cutting. And you'll just keep putting down the colors where you want them to go. These will become my sky. Okay, so I finished my first layer. If you see any areas that are kind of flapping up, you can put a little dot of glue to kind of attach them, but you wouldn't have to worry about it too much because you can seal the whole collage at the end with the decoupage technique. The next thing is if you want to, you can cut out different shapes like for clouds and attach those on. So I used just white paper and then I cut them like a cloud, and I'm going to put the glue directly on the back of these pieces so that I can control where they go. Like so. Yeah. And then the next thing is that we can start to do the house. So I'm going to use the orange color for the base of my house, and because I want to control where these go, I'm also going to put the glue on the back of these pieces. And then I'll just start to build my house structure. So now that I have my house, I cut out some shapes that could be my roof already. So I'm going to attach those. I'm going to put the glue on the back of my roof, and then I'll just set it down. I also have a piece that can be my door. And then I have a couple windows I want to attach. Maybe I need to cut these a little smaller, or I can also fold them. Because I folded them, I can either leave them where they can open like that, or I can glue both sides shut. For the second version of the collage, we can use a box that we've recycled and some pictures we've cut out. So in this case, I'm using pictures that I like what's in them, or I think they're beautiful, or maybe I also like the words in them, and I'm going to use those as my collage material. For this technique, start off with just the glue and use the glue on the back of your pictures so that you can put them where you want them to go on your box. When you're working with a box, I like to work maybe 1 or 2 sides at a time instead of going to try to do all 4 sides of the box. So here's my finished one for now, and I'll use these other pictures on a different part of my box. Next, we'll go over how to seal the box with decoupage. So now we're going to be showing you how to seal your collage with the decoupage technique. For this, you're going to need the brush, but this is also optional. You do not have to seal your box, but it does help to keep it a little more flat so it's not wrinkling, and it helps to make sure everything is glued down securely. When you do this, you're going to want to have a small dish that you can mix the mixture in, and you can also do this in an airtight container so that you can save the mixture for future use. You want to have about a 50-50 water to glue mixture, and you don't want to have too much water, only because then it'll kind of just make everything more wrinkly instead of putting a good seal on everything. Alrighty, that looks about right. So once I have my mixture, I'll use my brush to kind of mix the glue and the water together. And you can have an adult help you with this if this is a little tricky and you want to make sure you don't make a mess everywhere. So once the mixture is all good, you're going to paint on top of your box or on your cardstock that you did your collage on. When you paint it on, you might notice that the mixture is a little bit white. That's okay. It will dry clear, just like how glue will usually dry clear. So you want to make sure that you put a nice coat on everything. Thank you for joining us on today's video, and remember, you can find Art Explorium on Instagram and Facebook.